We're here with Western Washington University Volleyball program. On the left is Abby Phelps, outside hitter. On the right is Ariel Turner. In the middle is Diane Flick-Williams, head coach. Diane, can you talk about the performance tonight of your team and what happened on the court there?
Before I begin, I want to say thank you to Cal Baptist University. I think they did an excellent job hosting this tournament. I thought staff's very professional. I think they do a really good job of just making you feel welcome here. So I really appreciate all the work that goes into something like this. So thank you to CBU. Hats off to Bernardino. I mean, there's no secret that they weren't going to be the same team that we played in preseason because they just weren't the same people that we played in preseason. And I think Kim and Danny do a really good job of training their players, and they get better throughout the season. So, you know, they did a really good job tonight of constant applying pressure, and you know, we had our moments. We just we didn't really follow through on some of the details of the game that we had talked about. And you know, it's one of those things where, you know, the ball bounces a couple different ways. Ours gets stuck in the rafters. There's a bounce right to them. And that's just the way the night was. And so, you know, I would never fault the effort of my players. You know, I'm so proud of this team. I mean, this match is one of many in the season, and I'd go anywhere else with anybody else but my team. I love these guys to death.
Coach, you guys were ahead 17-10 in the third.
Yep.
Were there any kind of adjustments you made between 2 and 3 to kind of swing the momentum to that lead? Or was it just a matter of effort and just digging a few more balls to stretch that lead out?
Well, we spun our rotation to expose Abby a little bit more, and that also helped us put A in front of their setter a little bit more, which they were doing well. And I thought our serving pressure was a little bit tougher at the beginning of the game. It kind of backed off a little bit towards the end of the game. But I think we just became a little bit more aggressive and decided to attack them a little bit more than to see what they were doing and trying to counter. So, you know, I just think that spin gave us a couple of different looks in the matchup. Took them a little while to get used to it, and then, you know, they kind of played better after that.
You talk about how they apply pressure. I mean, and it seemed like in every set they kind of came on with a rush at the end. I mean, what goes into that? Well, what did you see from your vantage point?
I'm afraid we contributed to it. I think we lost discipline on our block. Our block was kind of all over the place tonight. When we were disciplined, we played great defense. When we're not disciplined, it's harder to defend a ball off the block, and that's, you know, we just, I think we didn't do a very good job with that. When that happens, then we start to overplay. And I think that's, again, it's not a matter of a lack of effort or trying on our team, and I can never fault them for that. Just sometimes they try to make up for too many things. And I think we would have kept the game a little more simple on our side. As we did at the beginning of game 1 and the beginning of game 3, I think we would have done a better job, maybe came out on a different side.
Look at this match. I know the first time you guys played was in the Division II West Region Showcase back in the early part of September. Look at where you guys were then, prevailing in 5 sets over the San Bernardino team who was missing Jan DeHogue, their setter, to where you guys now, and kind of just talk about the journey from that point to now and kind of the growth of this group and this team.
Well, at that tournament, we had 7 people with the flu. So at one point on the court, we had all 6 players who had been in bedridden 2 days earlier with the fevers. So they did a really good job of fighting through it at that time. And I think that showed the heart and soul of this team, that they're willing to compete at any moment. The journey really has been a day-to-day mission for us. And I was really shocked with this team. This is the kind of team that's so special. It's hard to describe to people who don't get it. No one knows what happens behind our closed doors but us. And we've had quite a few things that we've had to, you know, go through a journey together. And the best thing about it is that no matter what personal struggle each of us were going through, we had each other to lean on. So through that journey, it's the first team I've ever had that has never experienced the October blues. In fact, we were better in October than we were in September. And we were better at the end of October and beginning of November than we were at the beginning of October. And I think that is, if any coach will tell you, that's crazy, because it's labeled October blues for a reason. And we didn't have them. I kept waiting for it because it's the first year I haven't experienced it, but it didn't happen because they really were good at just being, trying to get better every single day. And they're an incredible work ethic team. They're an incredible character team. I mean, these guys are amazing, and it's a complete honor to be called their coach.
Can you kind of expand on the term October Blues? I mean, I've been on the other side, but I've never really seen a team kind of encounter the October Blues. Kind of expand on what.
Well,
You mean
basically in
by that?
October you're getting midterms, you're halfway through the season, you got halfway more. A lot of injuries take place during that time. A lot of just fatigue takes place during that time. I mean, it's where the grind happens. Never felt the grind. I just felt like we were working every day the same as we did the day before, which was weeks before. And so a lot of big teams we would see, that's where a lot of upsets happen, is in October. And in fact, we were going 3-0 during that time. So we did real well during a time where most people, don't do as well.
So it's kind of the Murphy's Law of volleyball, essentially.
Sure, if that's what you want to call it. Yeah, I mean,
Could you explain what the disagreement was at the very end, your discussion with the officials? What was the rule that was in play there?
our libero had set the ball inside the 3-meter line to a back row attacker who attacked the ball above the height of the net. We have a disagreement on how that rule is being interpreted.
Ariel, 5 years in the program and 4 years on the court. Talk about your journey with Diane and Abby and what this program has meant to you.
I don't really think I could sum it up in a short amount of time. I mean, it's, just something I'll never forget. I'd go to hell and back for these coaches and teammates. My senior season has been nothing, like I couldn't ask for anything more. So I can't even put words into it. Like I couldn't expect anything more or ask more of my journey here. So love them. The coaches, they're like my mom, dad, and aunts.
Crazy aunt.
Crazy aunts, yeah. And then I like each and every one of the girls could call my sister. So just Diane described it perfectly. We're just super tight knit, and that's what I think I'll just remember the most, is just the relationships I had with each and every one of the girls I've played with. So.
All right, I often ask seniors who've reached the end of the road about legacy and what kind of legacy they want to leave the program. What kind of a legacy do you hope you left Western Washington, and what kind of example do you hope you set for the underclassmen?
It doesn't come easy. Just work your butt off, I think. Which, I mean, I don't have to say to any of these girls right now on the team. Everyone comes into practice every single day and works their butt off to get better. So, but I think that's just a motto that we have, just to get better every single day for our team.
We have time for one more question.
Ooh, can I expand on that though?
Yes, absolutely.
Because she deserves a little bit more than what she's giving
Yeah.
herself.
I was about to say. I can answer that question for you, but she left.
Ariel's probably the most selfless player that we've had in our program. Her sophomore year, she was slated to start, sprained her ankle, and did everything she could to be the best teammate ever, and became our serving specialist. And there's a lot of teams out there that know exactly what I'm talking about, because she would come in the tightest situations from the coldest part of a game and serve us out. And then she became our captain her junior year and her senior year, and she totally proved this year she got the junk role. So Ariel, you're going to get the balls that are not conventional, not in system, and against two blockers. So good luck to you and have fun with it. And she's never complained about that role a day in her life. So, I mean, she's probably she sets the example of how to be a selfless servant leader. Would you agree?
Yeah, that's exactly what I was going to say.
Abby, you get one more go around at this as a junior.
Yeah.
Going out like this, how excited now? After a couple of weeks off, how excited are you now for spring to get back at it, get back in the gym, and try to get past this round next year?
Honestly, I haven't really thought about next year because, I mean, I still have Joe and Aaron and Chris standing next to me, so I'm just really trying to take that in. And, but I mean, as far as like lighting a fire under my butt, like for sure, like losing and not feeling like I played my best game ever, I feel like that is a really good like light under my butt for sure. And I could tell you that probably every single person in our locker room right now feels that same way. But as for right now, I'm just really trying to live in the moment and be with my teammates. I'm sorry. I know I'm really tough on myself,
Yeah,
but I
yeah.
just
Yeah, I hate when you lead our team in kills and digs. Even that just makes me mad.
Thank you.
Coach, ladies,
Thank you.
congratulations on a great season and safe travels back.
Thank you.
Safe travels back, ladies.